Hey guys, back at Trophy Hunter Supply for part 3, kind of just a wrap up of the review that we've been doing. Um, so what we did so far, we did part 1, which was just kind of going through the overall feel, kind of highlighting some of the upgrades, some of the new features on these bows. Part 2, we went through the performance. We actually tested them with 2 different arrows, kind of a standard hunting weight is at 430 grains, and then something for the guys that like the heavier setups or more of your big game guys, in the 604 grain arrow, just to show kind of how the bows react, how the numbers change, how they improve. Now, as kind of expected, the bows pretty much fell in line with their IBO specs. The Turmoil at 350 IBO was the fastest in both categories. For the 430 grain arrow, it was at 283.8, averaged out. For the 604 grain arrow, it was at 241.3. So between those two arrows, the Turmoil ended up actually having the lowest efficiency gain. For every 4 grains added, it was losing 1 foot per second, which really isn't that bad. It definitely is more of a performance-oriented bow. It's not going to have the greatest jump in efficiency because that isn't what it was really kind of designed for. It's designed for guys that are looking for a little more performance, and that's kind of Obsession's go-to. Is, they've got those nice, clean draw cycles, hard back wall, and they put out some big numbers. But especially for the price point, I mean, the thing's $699, and it's a shooter. It draws well. It's got a little bit of a hump at the back, but it drops into that valley and it sits. And you really can't complain with a 60. Well, this was at 63, 29-inch bow, putting out over 280 with a standard hunting arrow. That's going to do very well for a lot of people. Now, the Elite, they were touting that these bows this year were breaking 85% efficient, and it did well. Now, this is not, probably the most efficient bow of the lineup. It's more of the performance bow once again, option 6, but between the two arrows, we had 278.8. And then with the 604 grain arrow, we had 238.7. That came out to a 4.3 grain per foot per second, which is better than average, I'll say. Because all 3 cam bows came in pretty tight, as you saw in the last video, but out of the cam bows, that option 6 did have the best efficiency jump. Between the two, it saw a 2.2 foot-pound increase in kinetic energy. And once again, with that option, all of these bows have very clean draw cycles, good valleys, but the big jump this year for that option is that 70-75 and the double cage. Now, I didn't do any testing at this point at long range, but I would definitely expect that riser to play a role in having better consistency, especially once you get out to some of those longer yardages. So if you're hunting an area, hunting field edges, where that is something that you need to consider, you want to definitely take a look at it. And it's putting out good numbers especially for an Elite. 278.8 at 2960 think it was at 62. Those are clean numbers. Coming in third in actually all three categories was the Reign 6. That one was at 276.3, and then at 234.3, which comes out to a 4.14 grain per foot per second, and it only went up about 1.9 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. But right now, I think that Reign is probably one of the cleanest bows that came out this year. Based on customer response so far this year, that's what it's looking like. Everyone else's opinion is as well. But these numbers definitely aren't the end-all be-all of what you need to get. You need to get out, you need to shoot them and see what fits, what feels best in your hand, what draw cycle style do you like? Do you want that super silky smooth? Do you like having a little heavy up front and then just kind of having it fall into place? What exactly are you looking for? Because, any bow that you pick up, whether it's Elite, Bowtech, Gearhead, any of them, Obsession, Oneida Eagle, they all are good bows. It really comes down to what you are looking for, what little features, what little criteria as far as feel and comfort, and that really kind of brings us to that Oneida Eagle Phoenix. Now, in the first two rankings, the speed rankings with the two arrows, it didn't look the best comparatively. But when you look at big picture, it went from 248.3 with the 430 grain arrow to 221.3. Now, you look at the other bows. That Phoenix only lost 27 feet per second. Compared to the other bows, we're losing a little over 40. So that's where on that efficiency ranking, the Phoenix just blew them out of the water. It was seeing 1 foot per second lost for every 6.3 grains added. Now, if you're a guy that's looking to shoot those heavier setups, to have high momentum hunting arrows, that's something that you want to consider, is how well does that bow handle weight? Because it really plays into, if you jump up to a certain weight arrow, it depends on the bow as to how well it's going to perform with that. And once again, Oneida is kind of known for it, but it stood out, and it showed what its what its real strength is. Aside from it's got, in my opinion, one of the best draw cycles that there is. It just falls into place. There's just no effort to it. But they're not for everybody. But you got to just put one in your hand, try it, and consider what you're wanting. So with that, let's just do one last quick look at the bows and just kind of hit those key features again that they brought to the table this year, and that'll pretty much wrap it up. So let's go look at the bows. So the winner, like we already went over, of both the light and heavy arrow for actual speeds, Obsession Turmoil. Now, this one is kind of a new market for Obsession. Lower price point. It's a little slimmer riser. Still kind of the same overall look and feel as their previous bows. Big new addition is the yoke. just a pretty much standard flex cable guard. Other than that, it's just a pretty simple, just get out there and hunt kind of bow. The runner-up for our two speed rankings, the option. Now, the option 6 that I shot in the previous two videos is actually gone. Customer came and picked it up. It sold this last week. This is another one that's actually being picked up, I think tomorrow. But this is actually the option 7. Same features as the 6 that we shot. It's got that double cage that I mentioned, the new split limb, and cable guard. The roller is actually adjustable, so you can actually slightly change the cam lean with this. You can slightly adjust your vane clearance. Gives you a little bit of flexibility, not a ton, but a little bit if you need it. Now that can definitely be beneficial if you get that center shot right where you want. It's perfectly centered and you've got a little bit of, left or right. You can adjust that. So definitely some benefits, some upgrades from the previous models on this one. Expecting to see these things move pretty well. Now for the Bowtech Reign 6. Once again, this is offered in a 7 as well. Not a ton of drastic changes. Grip's a little bit different from last year's flagship. Cam has been redesigned. It's a bit smoother, and as far as actual feel, this is right now probably my pick. It's just clean. It didn't take honors or top for the actual speed numbers, but sometimes that's not the biggest thing that you're looking for. Find something that really fits you and just shoots well. You can have whoever say something is the best bow in the world, but if it doesn't fit you, it's just not gonna shoot as well. So other things to note is, once again, you have double yokes. So for tuning, you've got that benefit. You can adjust your cam lean. You can get that all dialed in. Flex guard with the rollers. Overall, just a real nice package. Last but definitely not least is the Phoenix from Oneida Eagle. Now, this bow I was really looking forward to. I love the draw cycle on these, and with the kind of heavy arrows that I like shooting, this thing does very well. Now, this is actually, like I mentioned in the previous videos, one of our owners has this one already set up, and he's already in love with it. But upgrades from the previous offerings from Oneida is machined cams. You've got upgraded stops, upgraded string stops. It's quieter than previous models while still maintaining that performance and efficiency that the guys that follow Oneida really expect. The other big benefit to this one is it's really a year-round bow. This is really designed to allow you to hunt in the fall. Then come spring, come summer, you can get out, you can go bow fishing with this. You can put a different rest on it if you want and go bow fishing. You can There's guys that do duck and geese with these. They're versatile. Now, could you do that with a different bow? Yes, but it's it's not gonna have the same kind of performance, the same comfort level with certain aspects. So, if you're someone that's wanting to get multi-purpose, make sure you check these out. Well, guys, thanks for joining us here at Trophy Hunter Supply for going through these bows. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions or anything, contact us on Facebook, call us. We're here to help. If you're in the area, stop in. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're hoping to start doing some broadhead reviews, some arrow reviews, looking at some of the specialty setups that we offer that most shops, at least in our area, don't even really mess around with. We do a lot of high front of center, high weight, different setups than what you typically see in the industry. So we'll be going through some of that in the coming weeks, and hopefully we'll see you guys. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. We'll see you later.